Today, I have Risk, the Transformers edition. But I have two versions. I have Cybertron Battle Edition from the Transformer movies when they're coming out of Cybertron, which you get to see some of the Cybertronian war. You get to see in the new Bumblebee movie. Which, speaking of Bumblebee, there he is. Anyway, I recently saw the new Bumblebee movie. It's awesome. It's great. You should go see it. And this is Transformers, the Decepticon Invasion of Earth. This version of Risk is more like G1 original Transformers, and this one's more like the Michael Bay universe. Anyway, they're both awesome. They're great. They're awesome. I have probably, I think I also have some other Transformers stuff in here. The Cybertronian Battle Editions rules. There's the back of the box for Transformers. Oh, also has Transformers Stratego in here. There's the back of the box for Transformers Stratego. Here's all the pieces. And the rule books. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all the stuff. I'm also going to compare the together. Here's some other USAopoly games you can get. I have a few of these. I like this Risk Walking Dead. I have it. I think I have the Monopoly Doctor Who. And I have this Risk Star Wars, which I think I've done a review on that already, or it's on my old account videos. Anyway, so let's look at the rules. Which I have 2 copies. This may be more than one video, so I'm just going to take my sweet time showing you all the stuff. If it takes more than one video, it'll take more than one video. Because my camera only allows me to do 15 minutes. My phone only allows me to do 15 minutes. Or, no, not 15. My phone only allows me to do like 30 something minutes. And, that's why sometimes on my YouTube channels I have to do videos. I have to do multiple videos on the same one because my phone, for some reason, creates a new file after about 32 or 33 minutes of and here's a Decepticon Invasion of Earth edition. It's rules. So the first comparison and contrast thing is one's of course on Cybertron and the other one is on Earth. That's the first compare and contrast thing. Other than that, they pretty much play. They both have cards. Here's these are the forces from this version. I'm going to show you the forces from this version first. This is Barricade. Barricade has his own forces. He has a leader piece. You can see that. Where he can transform from a car to his robot form. He's a Decepticon. The other Decepticon is All Hail Megatron. So you got Megatron. Which, of course, his little piece does the same thing. And all the little pieces look the same. They're all little robot pieces. Now, we also, for the Autobots, our two leaders are Bumblebee. He has his car form. And his robot form. And then there's his leader piece. The Camaro. And Bumblebee. Remember, Bumblebee is a great movie. Go see it. In theaters. Go see Bumblebee. The people who make Bumblebee should be actually paying me and sponsoring this video. Because I recommend you go see Bumblebee. Then we have Optimus Prime with Autobots. And you notice that they have special abilities as leaders. That's written on the card. And there's in his truck and robot. Now, and the Transformers, this one, Cybertron Invasion of Earth, here's what the piece looks like. You no longer have a converting leader piece. You do have a starting base piece. I guess this represents the spaceship that they landed on. Then the one-player pieces, one-army pieces, look like Bumblebee. So that's a nice little homage to Bumblebee. Except for they made the forces all red, so then you have Optimus Prime looking 5 robot piece. Focus. Now, unlike in the other one where you had 2 factions, 2 Autobots and 2 Decepticons, in this particular one now you have 1 faction of Autobots, which, since they didn't use yellow, they could have made all yellow molds for the one. If I ever buy a second set, I'm half tempted to, if I buy a second set, oh, there's 2 of these bases. Anyway, I'm half tempted to buy a second set, right? Or maybe I do have 2 sets. If I ever buy 2 copies of this Transformer game, I'm tempted to take all the red pieces from the second like if I buy a second set, I'm tempted to spray paint basically all the reds yellow. Just something to do. Anyway, all the Decepticons, on the other hand, while they have blue, gray, and purple Decepticons, they all look the same. Their forces all look the same. They all have a little base token. They only have 1 base token each, though. Their bad guy looks like Megatron. Their 5-point guy looks like Megatron. And all the rest of them look like jet fighters. So, that's kind of neat. And of course they got, here's the territory cards. Let's look at those. Now, in the Cybertron Battle Edition, these are the cards of that. These are just power cards. They're power-up cards. Now, in the Decepticon Invasion of Earth one, we have territory cards for each territory, but we also have power cards. Now, I noticed that they wrote territory card on every one of them. They didn't separate the power cards from the territory card deck, so it's a little confusing with the backs. They could have wrote power card on these and territory cards on these. And just like Classic Risk, Decepticon's Invasion of Earth has a territory. The board looks just like the regular Risk board, and they each have the classic territories. The exact same territories on Earth that are in every standard Risk game. So, they didn't decide to make a new board at all. They just kept the same colors. Well, they kept the basic same board as standard Risk. Now you may be asking, hey, wait a minute. If it's Earth, who's defending Earth? Well, Decepticons are invading. The Autobots are fighting them. But do the Autobots have help from the humans? Or are the humans just going to stand there on their own without and let the Earth get conquered? No way! We have Nest members here. They're little army faction people. And they just look like little basic army men. So you have Nest here. Matter of fact, one of the power cards shows that. See, you have Nest. Nest, Sector 7, whatever. Now, since Transformers and G.I. Joe are both owned by Hasbro, you could even say Nest is G.I. Joe if you wanted to. That would actually be a pretty cool Risk game. Transformers versus G.I. Joe. You also have Earth Fights Bet cards. which is the actual nature of Earth. You got Decepticon cards and Autobot cards. So these power cards help. Some are Earth Fights Back, some are Nest cards. Here's an interesting one. This one's the Humans Suffer an Epidemic. So so you have power cards that help the Decepticons out, you have power cards that help the Autobots out, and you have power cards that help the humans out, and you have nature. So there's that. Now on this one, they're all power cards. The power cards represent territory cards too, because on the middle has a territory. Up here has a... This one, it lets you do this cool change zone thing. You can use the card as territory, that, or the power special ability. So that's kind of neat. They each have these special abilities. And each one also represents as a territory card. So they made them both territory cards and power cards simultaneously. Which is kind of a smart move. Nice little move. They did. Now, I personally have about 3 or 4 copies of the Cybertronian edition one, because I keep finding them at thrift stores. And I like parts and pieces, so I'm the kind of person who will buy, anytime I find a game that has parts or pieces, I will buy a second copy just to have double the forces. Double the pieces. And if it's Risk, I will almost always buy a second copy, especially if it's a special edition one. Oh, and here's a this card is a turn reference card. Basically, phase 1, place your robots, morph, attack, call for backup, draw a card. Some of these cards are the same. Have the same special ability on them. But none of them have the same territory on them. Unless, of course, you put 2 decks of cards together. Which is another reason I buy multiple special edition Risk games. Because usually they have multiple... Usually the special edition games have these things like power cards or leaders, or some of them have 6 or 8 sided die, which some of them have 8 sided die. Most of them just have 6 sided die, but this one actually has a 8 sided die system too. For the leaders in the Cybertronian edition. And, of course, each player has to have a reference card. So, the cards. I never showed you the back of the Risk Transformers Decepticon Invasions of Earth box. So, here's the back of that, by the way. And next up is the boards. First up, we have the Risk Transformers Cybertron Battle Edition board, which has basically you play it 6 rounds, and whoever owns the launch pad by the 6th round gets points, and then the other people get points. They get points based on how much armies they have, plus launch pads are worth points. This one is an interesting one because we have on here 4 territories that this one moves and you get a bonus new territory. But if it moves back, you could destroy that bonus new territory. This one, Moon Alpha, also has a Secret War Factory. So these 2 territories with the Secret War Factories are pretty cool because they give you a bonus territory, which you can hide or move. Now these are kind of neat. Like Paraxis here is neat because you can open or close the territory. You could close it. That's what those turn signal things were on the cards that I was talking about. You can turn it and you can seal it off. Here's another one that you can do that. But this one has multiple openings and closings areas. So it can be merged with that. Then if you move it there, it's merged with that. Then if you move this one, that one's merged with that one, I guess. Yeah. That one's, the symbols don't quite always match up, but you could use it to block. So, we have the yellow spaces, which are the border regions, Farax, Space Bridge, and Callus. We have the purple, we have the other orange places, Moon Alpha, Tritropolis Loop, Sonic Canyons, Hydro Plateau, and this is one of the Decepticon's starting base. This is one of Autobot's starting bases. Here's the other Autobot starting base. They got Autobase, Deacon, Terrorist, Dragoon Heights, Neutral Territories, Plasma Energy Chamber. Here's a Unicron, which is Decepticon's base. Which Unicron... Well, anyway, you got the Chamber of Ancients, Central City, Novachrome, High Council, Pavilions, Tiger Prex, Icon, Oracle, Protex, Eura, Promise. Then for the blue territories, you got the Red Zone, Arena, Hexma State, of course the Launchpad, Voss, Orbital Beta Platform, Terran, Stella Galleries, and the Pentatorius Wharf. So, that's, and the green areas were 7 armies, blue 5, purple 5, red 3, yellow and orange 2. So that's Risk Cybertron Battle Edition's board. And here is Risk Decepticon Invasion of Earth, which is the same size as the board. Of course, you have North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, and Australia, which are all exactly the same. You have a little quick guide here. You have how many armies, stars. You can collect stars to get cards. And it's the Decepticon Invasion of Earth. The water kind of looks like a you got an energon level thing, which Decepticons need energon, I think, to is what they're trying to collect. They collected all the way up, I believe they win the game or something. You got this little, slaves. The Decepticons can capture enemies. When the Decepticons capture enemies, they convert them to slaves, and every 5 slaves can be converted into a 5-pack person. But anyway, the countries are worth the same amount of bonus territories, but you now have the Autobots land here, and that's where they start. The Autobots start here, but the Decepticons, the 3 different Decepticon factions, invade Earth from 3 different corners of the... Well, actually, wait, there's 4 different Decepticon factions invade Earth from 4 different corners of the world. See, the 4 different corners of the world? Well, the Earth is actually not flat, so there's really not corners of the Earth, but I mean, honestly, the way they're invading is kind of silly because, yeah, they would invade America, but they wouldn't invade there, not at Alaska. They'd probably invade here. In the middle, right in America, because that's the #1 place. South America, I don't think they would invade in South America. They might invade in Brazil. Russia, they might invade, but more likely they'd invade Siberia. Africa, Australia, they might invade, but if they might invade Russia, exactly. So This should be here. This should be here. This maybe should be moved to China, and this one maybe moved to Russia. And I don't get why the Autobots are landing there, because in the show they landed in Earth in America. So maybe they should land in America, and maybe we should move this one to Africa or something. I'm just rambling here. I'm thinking out loud. But anyway, that's the board to Decepticon, the Risk Transformers Decepticons Invasion of Earth. And the reason I'm saying that the 4 corners don't match up is because these 2 countries are connected. So, Now, that's been the Risk games. So I guess we'll look at the Stratego Risk, the Transformers Stratego now, and we'll see how it works. The Autobots have a special power reference sheet. Here's the Autobots special power reference sheet. Here's the Decepticons special power reference sheet. Here's the Stratego Transformers rulebook. So you got setup, 2 games, game 1, rules for attack, capturing pieces. Stratego is basically, if you don't know how to play Stratego, there's the contents, objects of the game. Strategy hints, rule 2s, special powers, and how to win, storing your game. Blah, blah. If you don't know how to play Stratego, it's basically simple. It's a capture the flag game. You hide your flag, and you put bombs around it or something or whatever. Only miners can destroy bombs. It's basically your piece. Nobody knows what the other team's pieces are. You set up the pieces any way you want, and you move and you tap when you're attacking, and highest number wins the attacking battle. Is basically, that's it. Let's look at, let's take a look at the board. Okay, we got a board here, and the board looks like we got a street. We got the Hoover Dam from the movie. So yeah, this is the Decepticons forces. Now, interesting enough, they have both a vehicle mode and a robot mode, and we got Megatron, Starscream, Blackout, Barricade, Brawl, Bone Crusher, and Scorponok. Their vehicle modes abilities are Sneak Attack, Sneak Attack, Sneak Attack, Speed, Distant Strike, Speed, Sneak Attack. The robot modes is Speed, Detect Enemy, Robot Rumble, Distant Strikes, Robot Runner, and Magnet. Then, of course, we have the Autobots, which are Optimus Prime, Ironhide, Autobot Ratchet, Bumblebee, Autobot Jazz, a Fighter, and Sam Witwicky. The vehicle modes, even though Sam's not a vehicle, or a robot, he still has a vehicle mode for some reason, are Speed, 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 Sneak Attack, and Call Bumblebee. Robot mode is Sneak Attack, Detect Enemy, Robot Rumble, Distant Strike, and Magnet. And, of course, you had this nice little box art image to hold the pieces of the Autobots, which is fairly nice. I mean, it's pretty. And then, next up we have all these little pieces. Red are Autobots, and the gray are the Decepticons, which I will show you in a second. Let's look at the Autobots first. We have the flag, which is the object of the game to capture the opponent's flag. We have a blank space. We have blanks, so I guess extra. Yeah, Stratego always comes with extra for some reason. We have Maggie. We have Sector 7 agents. We have number 10, which is the highest number. It's Optimus Prime. We have liquid nitrogen trap, which work as the bombs for this particular game. We have an Allspark, which works as the spy.